Okay, so question 1. The offer of Sheldon and Leonard's time travel contract occurred when Sheldon said what was stated on the contract. So he said out loud, "If either of us ever invents time travel, we agree our first stop will be this meeting today in precisely 5 seconds." So when he said that, that was the offer. And then the acceptance occurred when Leonard said, when he signed the contract and agreed to it. The contract does have consideration because money is being exchanged, the rent being paid by agreeing to the contract, as well as stating the condition before the contract is signed so that it cannot be changed and it is pre-existing. Each of the parties have the capacity to enter this contract since they are of age and not using drugs or alcohol. So they're in the right state of mind. I believe this contract intent is actually legitimate, considering how smart the two characters are in the show. Even though the discussion is about time travel and the fact that they both wanted to see if it would happen after 5 seconds, kind of shows the proof behind that they both thought it was actually possible. Question 2. Considering the fact that if these companies decided to merge, they would control over 50% of cell phone companies in the United States, the concern that it would result in a monopoly is very justifiable. Yes, because it meets multiple monopolistic principles. They include mergers and acquisitions of another company, thus causing the merged company to own over 50% of the entire industry. And another principle that was met is leadership of more than two organizations. So the two organizations would be, in this case, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. And they're both like the big names in the industry. The biggest names. So, question 3. A union election at the facility could begin in either an overt manner or in a covert manner, so like a quiet manner, behind management's back, for the reason being that sometimes management makes it more difficult when they find out about the unionization. So that is why they could start the union behind our back, but in this case we know about it. So part 1 of the election is the petition phase. So individuals are asked if they want to vote on a union. If 30% of the authorization cards are returned, they can legally move forward. However, an election won't move forward unless 50% are returned, because they won't have a shot of winning. If they vote a yes, a board of directors is elected and they are certified at the national level. Managers will be informed of the acronym SPIT. So that's how we're going to advise our managers. That acronym means that they cannot spy on, make promises to, interrogate, or threaten any employees during the election. So we'll make sure all the managers know that. Managers can, however, challenge union promises, open the union books, discuss the hardship of strikes, and state the company's philosophy. A strategy that can be used to deter unionization during the campaign includes considering employee safety and making a safer workplace by doing that, practicing empathy, focusing on how employees feel, and discussing the hardships of strikes. So I think discussing the hardships of strikes and explaining all the problems that could occur if they don't work is the best strategy to deter unionization. Employees working at the White Marsh Inn may rely on that job to support their families, so they won't be paid during this strike. Also, if they were working here on a green card, they would have to return home if they're not working. We can't just raise people's salaries because the budget is tight, and if people were told this, I think they might understand and be more reasonable. Question 4. The second attempt will also result in being unsuccessful for Ohio State. You cannot trademark generic words like a, and the. They're all articles in the English grammar. Those are the 3 most commonly used words probably in the English grammar, so they would struggle to find more generic words than those three, and it would be very difficult to trademark those generic words, especially the. The Ohio State University could create a trademark that includes the before the name of the school if they use it in logo form and on apparel. This is similar to Candy Crush trying to use the term candy. You can't just trademark the term candy because you want to. It has to be for a good reason, and it has to be specifying. Question 5. So the first question asked about how Penn State did during Julia's senior season is an acceptable question because she can respond with how the team did. They are asking a question related to the field of football since the job would be with the Eagles and not actually asking her age. This is a riskier question to ask because you can decipher her age based on how the team did, but it is acceptable to ask. Although question 2 is somewhat personal, asking about how her family spends Sundays, and it is still a behavioral question and once again football related. Sunday is typically the busiest day in the NFL, so to ask what her behavior is typically like on that day is important to the job and an acceptable question. The last question, however, would be inappropriate to ask during an interview. You cannot ask national origin or race during an interview at any time. By asking where her parents are from originally is way too direct, and by knowing where her parents are from, it directly tells the employer her national origin and race, so you cannot ask that. Thank you for a great semester, Matt. Those are my answers.